Good morning, students. Today let us discuss how to find equivalent resistance in case of complex circuits. Equivalent resistance in case of complex circuits. Equivalent resistance in case of complex circuits. In order to find equivalent resistance in complex circuits, let us take example of symmetric circuits. Symmetric circuits. If there is a symmetry in the given circuit, we should follow the following steps to solve the problem, to find the equivalent resistance. The first step, what you have to follow is, draw the line of symmetry in the circuit. Draw the line of symmetry. Draw the line of symmetry. The second point, what you should follow is, apply potential difference potential difference across required points. The third step what we have to follow is, distribute the current in the circuit. Distribute the current in the circuit. While distributing the current, you should take a care that there is a symmetry in current according to the symmetry in resistors. While distributing the current in the circuit, you should take care that the current should have symmetry as resistors. The current distribution should have symmetry as resistors. Next, fourth point. Delete the branches in which there is no current. Delete the branches in which no current is flowing. Fifth step, identify parallel and series resistors and replace them. Identify parallel and series resistors and replace them. The last step, use Kirchhoff law. Use Kirchhoff's law to get R equivalent. Use Kirchhoff law to get R equivalent. So these are the steps that we should follow in order to have the equivalent resistance in a complex circuit where there exists some symmetry. These points are applicable when there is some symmetry in the circuit, complex circuit given to you. Okay. Now, let us see how to implement these points in a particular example. Here is a circuit. This is a circuit. It is in the form of almost like regular hexagon with so many resistors. This is the circuit. There are points A and B. Each resistor is having resistance R. All resistors are identical, having same resistance R. You are asked to find equivalent resistance between A and B. You are asked to find equivalent resistance between A and B. No doubt, the given circuit is a complex circuit. So here we are asked to find R equivalent is equal to question mark. There is some symmetry. The distribution of resistors above to this line AB and below to this line AB is having same structure. Otherwise, if you take one more line here, the distribution of resistors on this side and that side are identical. Hence, it is a line of symmetry. It is a line of symmetry. It is also one more line of symmetry. Line of symmetry exists, one in vertical direction, another one is horizontal direction. We would like to find effective resistance for the given combination. Now, to solve this problem, let me take the solution like this. Now I am going to solution part. You consider any line of symmetry. We would like to find the equivalent resistance between A and B. So between A and B, just imagine a cell. A cell of EMF V. Now, distribution of current we will see. Let X is the current passing through this branch. As per symmetry, whatever distribution is here, the same distribution is above to this. So, X is the current passing through this branch. So, the same type of symmetry is there. So, same currents I am imagining. So, in this another line, Y is the current going. Y is the current going. What will happen? In order to provide this current, the current should be given by the cell. So cell has to give 2x plus y current. That x current is going like this, x current is going like this, y current is going like this. And if you observe clearly, this x finds two paths. So in this path, z is the current going. So remaining x minus z current is going in this path. Similarly, this x current is going like this. Due to symmetry, the same z current is going like this. X minus z current is going in this branch. This z current will take the path like this. Again joins with x minus z and it becomes as x to reach the terminal B. Similarly, this z finds a way like this, and x minus z plus z, it behaves as x. The same y will go through this. Again 2x plus y will leave out of the circuit. So likewise, we need to imagine the distribution of current. Here it is clear that whatever current coming in this way is going in this way. Whatever current coming here is going in this way. Whatever current coming here is going this way. That means if you consider this point you can avoid, because there is no distribution of current. Whatever current coming is leaving in this way. Whatever current coming is leaving this way. Whatever current coming is leaving this way. Whether all the wires are joined here or not joined here will not make any difference. So let me take this point as O. Void O. Void O. Void means avoid. Avoid the connection at O. Then what will happen to the structure? The upper resistor will be like this. Some more resistor is there. It is connected to some another resistor. Here is some another resistor. So it is connected to this. It is connected to this. So here is one resistor. They were joined like this. I just removed the connection at O. Similarly, the same thing I will do here. Here is one thing. Here another. It is like this. So I just removed the connection at O. Clearly, whatever current coming here is going through this. So these two are in series. R and R in series means effective resistance is 2R. 2R is in parallel to R. So 2R into R by 2R plus R, that is 3R. RR gets cancelled, 2R by 3. So I can replace this entire branch with a single resistor of 2R by 3. Then the same circuit will behave like this. One resistor of resistance R. The middle branch 2R by 3 is there. Again one more resistor of resistance R is there. Here at the down also is the same thing. This is B, this is A. Here also it is A, it is B. And what will happen? This is R, 2R by 3, R. Again these three are in series. These three are in series, again they are parallel to each other. So if I take the effective resistance in the upper branch, effective resistance in the lower branch, what will happen? Effective resistance in the upper branch is R plus 2R by 3 plus R. That is 3 is the LCM, 3R plus 2R plus 3R, that is 10R by 3. Clearly the circuit is having 10R by 3, 10R by 3 between A and B. Again these two are parallel to each other. So R equivalent is given by 10 by 3R into 10 by 3R by the sum of these two, 20 by 3R. R gets cancelled, by 3 gets cancelled. This will go for 2 times. This 2 will go for 5 times. So 5 by 3R ohms is the equivalent resistance of the given combination. 5 by 3R will be the equivalent resistance of the, one more resistor I forgot here, sorry. Here 2R is also there in the middle. In the middle 2R is also there. So here 2R is there. Once again, let me do it, the last step. 1 by R equivalent is equal to, so 3 by 10 R, 1 by 2 R, so 3 by 10 R. So LCM will be 10 R, 3 plus 5 plus 3. So R equivalent is equal to 10 R by once again you see 3 3 6 plus 2, sorry 8 R by 3, 8 R by 3, 8, this is 8, LCM will be 8, 3 plus 4 plus, so 8 R by 10, 4 R by 5 ohms. There is no confusion in this problem, just we took a cell of EMF B, between the two terminals A and B. Later we distributed the current. From the current it is concluded that this point, the joining point, can void. You can avoid that. By avoiding this point, the circuit is redrawn like this. Later we simplified this branch and this branch, and we simplified the entire problem like this. So this is the solution for the given question. Now let us go to the next question. One more question in the similar model we are going to solve. So here a question is like this. They gave the set of resistors So each branch consists of a resistor. So the problem is like this. Each resistor is having resistance R. So we are required to find the equivalent capacitance, equivalent resistance between A and B. Equivalent resistance between A and B. This is also a complex circuit with some symmetry. So how to solve this question? If you observe clearly, this is a branch which is in the form of Wheatstone bridge. This is also a branch which is in the form of Wheatstone bridge. The ratio of these two resistors is equal to the ratio of these two resistors. Otherwise, the product of the two opposite resistors is equal to the product of two opposite resistors. So this point and this point are at same potential. So you can avoid this. Similarly, the ratio of these two resistors is equal to these two resistors. This resistor you can avoid because this point and this point are at same potential. No current will pass through this. So as per the earlier rules, we should omit the branches which are not carrying current. So we should omit this resistor and we should omit this resistor. Then after omitting these resistors, if you find the distribution of current distribution is like this. Let us see. If suppose X is the current going like this, the same X will be the current going like this. From this X, some Y is the current going like this. Here X minus Y is the current going like this. Again, this Y is going into the same branch. X minus Y is going into the same branch. So likewise, distribution of current takes place. If Y is the current going to this branch, X minus Y will be the current going into this branch. So whatever current going, it will be moving into the same branch. Whatever current going like this, it is going into the same branch. So you can avoid this junction. Again, you can avoid junction O. Clearly, the circuit becomes like this. A is like this. So from A, you will have set of 4 resistors. From B also, we will find one more set of 4 resistors. Like this. R. So we avoided this resistance and we avoided this resistance and we avoided the junction point. Clearly, R and R both are in series. R and R both are in series. So it is 2R, 2R. 2R, 2R in parallel means 2R into 2R by 2R plus 2R, 4R. So it becomes R. So you will get R plus R 2R, R plus R 2R. 2R in parallel to 2R is R. So finally, upper branch consists of a single resistor of resistance R. Lower branch also consists of a single resistor of resistance R. Effective resistance is R and R. Equivalent resistance is R by 2 ohms. It's very, very simple. R by 2 ohms. Sometimes they will give, if R is equal to 2 ohms, R equivalent is equal to how much? In that case, to substitute 2 here, 2 by 2, 1 is the answer. R equivalent will become 1 ohm. Similarly, we can solve so many problems based on the method of symmetry. Very, very simple. We should see the distribution of current among the resistors, and we should identify the branches which doesn't possess the passes of current, and we can avoid those resistors. And the junction point we can avoid by observing the distribution of current. Now, one more example. There is a arrangement of resistors like this. There is an arrangement of resistors like this. The name of the terminals A, B, C, D as per the question. All the resistors are having identical resistance R. All the resistors are having identical resistance R. Find the equivalent resistance of the circuit between A and C, similarly between B and D. The question is R equivalent between A, C is equal to question mark. R equivalent between B, D is equal to question mark. So first of all, let me solve the first question. Between A and C, I would like to find the equivalent resistance. So I should join a virtual cell between A and C. Let V is the EMF of the cell. Clearly it's a Wheatstone bridge. Ratio of resistances are same. So this resistance is inactive. No current is passing through this branch. So you can omit this. Then equivalent resistance is RR in series combination. So it becomes 2R, 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 2R parallel to each other means R. So R equivalent becomes R in the first case. R equivalent becomes R in the first case. In the second case, we would like to find. Again, let me draw the circuit. In this circuit, points B and D are here. You are asked to find equivalent resistance between B and D. Okay. Now, in order to find the equivalent resistance between B and D, we should imagine a cell which is connected between B and D like this. We should imagine a cell which is connected between B and D like this. If you observe clearly, here also you will find an arrangement like Wheatstone bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resistors are there. All resistors are identical in magnitude. Again, P by Q is equal to R by S. Ratio of resistors. So, potential at A is equal to potential at C. But there is no wire connecting between A and C. So, we cannot avoid this R. This R is connected between B and D. Between B and D, there exists a potential difference V. V is the potential difference between the two ends. So, potential at B is not equal to potential at C. So, we cannot avoid R in this case. Now, how to find equivalent resistance? This R and R are in series combination. They gives 2R. In the middle, one R is there. Again, this R and R in series combination. So, we will get 2R here, 2R. We need, this is B and this is D. Again, these three are in parallel combination. So, R equivalent BD is equal to, if you want 1 by R equivalent BD is equal to 1 by 2R plus 1 by R plus 1 by 2R. LCM will be 2R, 1 plus 2 plus 1. So, it becomes R equivalent BD is equal to 2R by 4. So, it becomes R by 2. Effective resistance becomes R by 2 between B and D. The same question, you are finding two answers. Equivalent resistance become R when you find between A and C. Equivalent resistance become R by 2 when you find between B and D. What is the difference in these two questions? When we are considering between A and C, B and D are at the same potential. Potential at B is equal to potential at D. So, no current is passing through this branch. That's why I omitted R. But we should not omit R because B and D are not at the same potential. There exists a potential difference between B and D which is equal to EMF of the cell. A and C are at same potential but no wire or no resistor is connecting them. So, all the resistors are to be taken into consideration. So, equivalent resistance is R by 2. I hope I reached you. Similarly, we can do so many questions. One more question, let us see. There is a complex circuit. Here is a resistance R. Here is one resistance. 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 Here also one resistance is there. Here also one resistance is there. Here also one resistance is there. Here, here, here and here. So, this is the complex circuit and the values of resistances are identical. R, everything R, everywhere R ohms. R. You are asked to find equivalent resistance between A and B. A, B, C, D. We are asked to find. In order to find the effective resistance between A and B, we imagined a virtual cell here. That V is the EMF of the cell. Now the distribution of current, if you observe, the current get uniformly distributed about the line of symmetry. And if you consider this particular branch of the circuit, clearly whatever current coming here has to go through this resistor. So these two resistors are in series combination to each other, which are parallel to this. So if I find effective resistance for this triangular set of resistors, we will get it 4R/3. Similar type of triangles are available on the four sides. So I can redraw the structure of the circuit like this: 2R/3, 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 2R/3. And if you observe clearly, it is like Wheatstone bridge. So we will have the ratio of resistors on both the sides with equal value. Hence, point C and point D are at same potential. No current will pass through this resistor. Hence, we can omit this resistor. Once we replace or remove this resistor, these two resistors are in series, these two resistors are in series, their effective resistance is 4R/3, these two resistors effective resistance is 4R/3, so you will get equivalent resistance as 2R/3. It's very, very simple. I just applied the steps involved in solving the complex circuits with symmetry. The same way we will solve any problem related to this. Now let us move to next concept. DC measuring meters. DC means direct current. Direct current. As we discussed in the earlier problem, the current which is passing from the positive terminal of the cell to the negative terminal of the cell throughout the circuit is considered as direct current. In order to measure the direct current and in order to know the presence of current in a particular circuit, we require a meter. So let us see what are the various meters available with us for measurement of this, for the measurement of current which is passing through the circuit, for the measurement of potential difference, and to know the direction of current. So the basic meter is the galvanometer. This galvanometer is having a graduated scale like this, provided with a rectangular coil kept in a magnetic field. Whenever we pass the current, the needle attached to this rectangular coil will take a deflection in the magnetic field. This concept we will discuss in electromagnetism chapter. For time being, we are just understanding what is the principle involved in galvanometer. So galvanometer consists of a rectangular coil which is attached with a pointer. The pointer is capable to move over a graduated scale like this. Once we supply current to this, some magnetic field get developed which produces some deflection in the meter. The readings are from 0 to 1 ampere, something like that. So this galvanometer is having very high resistance, hence it is having very low range. Galvanometer is having very high resistance, hence it is having very low range. Low range in the sense it could not be able to measure large amounts of current. Due to high resistance, it allows only a small amount of current. So galvanometer is an instrument which is used to know the presence of current in a particular circuit and which is used to know the direction of motion of current in a circuit. Generally, galvanometer consists of 0 in the middle. It will have 1 ampere this side, 1 ampere this side. So depending on the direction of current, this needle may oscillate either left side or right side depending on the direction of current. So galvanometer is an instrument which is used to know the presence of current in a circuit, which is used to know the direction of motion of current, and which is used to measure small amounts of current. Why is only small amounts of current? Due to high resistance, it has very low range. So it can measure a few milliamperes of current which is passing through the circuit, or microamperes which is passing through the circuit. So it is not much useful to us. We should convert this galvanometer into other meters like ammeter and voltmeter. Generally, in order to measure current, we use a meter called ammeter. In order to measure current in a circuit, we use a meter called ammeter. In order to measure the potential difference in a circuit, we use a meter called voltmeter. So for measurement of voltage, we require voltmeter. For measurement of current, we require ammeter. For measurement of small amounts of current, and to know the presence of current and to know the direction of current, we use the galvanometer. The symbols of these meters are very simple. We just show a symbol like this by writing G. Sometimes we may write like this directly, G as galvanometer. So similarly, if I write A here, it's an ammeter which is used to measure the current. If I write V here, it's a symbol for voltmeter which is used to measure the potential difference between any 2 points in the circuit. It works on the principle of deflection of a rectangular coil in magnetic field. Whenever we pass current through the coil, it gets some deflection. The deflection makes this needle to move over the graduated scale, which gives a particular reading. Why we are not preferring galvanometer to measure high values of current? Galvanometer is having very high resistance. Due to high resistance, its range is very, very low. So in order to increase the range means the tenure or the maximum value up to which it can measure is called range. Here it is having a small range. That means few milliamperes can be measured with the help of galvanometer. In order to measure few amperes, we need to modify this galvanometer into ammeter. In order to measure the potential difference between any 2 points in a circuit, we need to convert this galvanometer into voltmeter. Let us see the conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. So ammeter is a device which is used to find the current passing through a branch of the circuit. Okay, how to do it? How to measure it? Ammeter. Ammeter means used to measure current in a circuit. Used to measure current in a circuit. And always it should be connected in series. Always it should be connected in series in a circuit. Why we should connect it in series? You know that in series combination, current will not be divided. Potentials may be divided. So as current is passing through a circuit without dividing itself, in series combination, we always connect the ammeter in series in a circuit. How to convert the galvanometer into ammeter? Now that is the question. Conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. Conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. So here is a galvanometer. Galvanometer can have certain resistance. Let me show the resistance of the galvanometer separately. This is the galvanometer. Its resistance, let it be G ohms. G ohms is the internal resistance of the galvanometer. So due to high resistance, it is not able to allow the current to pass through it. To avoid this problem, we need to attach some another resistance in parallel to this. and the resistance what we are going to connect here is represented with S, ohms, as it is S ohms. Connecting a small resistance in parallel to the galvanometer is called shunt. Hence, the resistance used is called shunt resistance. S value is very small when compared to G. So as S is very small, the current find two paths. Whatever current is coming, some current will pass through the galvanometer, some current will pass through the shunt. So maximum current will pass through the shunt, as the shunt resistance is very less when compared to the galvanometer resistance. So as maximum current is passing through this branch, galvanometer get protected. If you send more current through the galvanometer, more heat gets generated and it may damage the galvanometer. So the first advantage of connecting a small resistance in parallel to this is it takes maximum portion of current to pass through it, such that galvanometer get protected. So such a combination will helps us as ammeter. Such a combination is called ammeter. Now you may get some doubt. What is the range of this ammeter? So due to the connection of G with S in parallel, effective resistance in the circuit gets decreased. Automatically range gets increased. So here, if I do a little mathematical calculation, so I is equal to Ig plus Is. This is the first point. Current which is to be measured is dividing itself into two parts. One part is going through galvanometer, another part is going through the shunt. So effective resistance is, as they are in parallel, equivalent resistance R equivalent is G into S by G plus S is the equivalent resistance. How to calculate S value now? Let us see. In order to calculate S value, the potential difference across these 2 points must be equal to potential difference across these 2 points. What is the potential difference? Ig. You know that V is equal to IR. Current into resistance G must be equal to ISS. IgG is equal to ISS. Then G is given by, or you can write S is equal to, the shunt required is equal to Ig by Is into G. The shunt required is Ig by Is into G. Now, from this equation, I is equal to Ig in the sense IS by G plus Is. Then Is gets common, G plus S by G. I took G as LCM here, is equal to I. So current passing through the shunt, if you want, Gi by G plus S. This formula you can use. And as what is the shunt required means? This is the thing. And actually you are provided with G value, S value and I value. We doesn't know Ig and Is values. So Ig you can calculate from this, Is you can calculate from this. But what is the shunt required means? We should simplify this S value. How to simplify S value? In order to simplify S value, you can write it as, I will write here. S is equal to Ig by Is. Is can be written as I minus Ig into G. So, by simplifying these formulae, you can get the desired S value. Sometimes they may ask you to find the current passing through the shunt. What is the shunt required? All those things they will ask. You have to calculate them using those formulae. Now, I would like to find the range of this galvanometer, which is converted as ammeter. So, shunt required is given by G by that Ig I am bringing into the denominator, then S is equal to G by I by Ig minus 1. S is equal to G by N minus 1 I can take. Here N is equal to I by Ig is called range of the ammeter. N is equal to I by Ig is called range of the ammeter. So this is about the conversion of galvanometer into ammeter, and the formula what you should remember I just mentioned here. Always we are connecting a low or small resistance in parallel to the given galvanometer. So connecting a small resistance in parallel to the galvanometer is called shunting. The shunt resistance S is very much less than G value. Why we preferred less resistance means maximum current has to pass through this such that galvanometer get protected, and it provides a range. I is the strength of current you want to measure. Suppose 2 amperes you want to measure. Galvanometer is allowing only 0.1 ampere. So its range becomes 20. Its range becomes 20. So this is the way we prepare ammeter. Ammeter always must be connected in series in a circuit. Now let us see the conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter. Now let us see the conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter. It is also very simple. It is also in the similar manner only. How we will do? First you tell me what is voltmeter. Voltmeter is a device which is used to measure potential difference between any 2 points in a circuit. Voltmeter is a device which is used to measure potential difference between any 2 points in a circuit. So voltmeter is used to measure potential difference, and it is always connected in parallel. In parallel combination, voltage finds the unique value or same value. So how to convert galvanometer into voltmeter? Conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter. Conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter. You know that galvanometer, suppose it is G, it is having some internal resistance. Let me represent it with G ohms. This galvanometer is connected with a heavy resistance in series. Earlier a small resistance in parallel we connected. Now we are connecting a heavy resistance R in series. Such a combination will act as voltmeter. Such a combination will act as voltmeter. If I is the strength of current passing through this, as the resistance G is very small when compared to R, maximum potential drop is observed at R, a small potential drop is observed at G. So connection of a heavy resistance in series to a galvanometer will act as voltmeter. Now, if the current is going like this, voltage across the galvanometer is nothing but V is equal to IR, IG. I is the strength of current passing, G is the resistance here. Voltage across the resistor is given by IR. Voltage across the resistor is given by IR. Now, I can replace I value from here. I is equal to Vg by G. You substitute it here. Voltage across the resistor is equal to Vg by G into R. Vg by G into R. Similarly, we may frame some other relations also here. Total voltage, net potential difference is sum of the potential differences at the two ends, Vg plus Vr, Vg plus Vr. Now, we read R value. So, how to find R value? I is equal to, in the place of Vg, I can write Ig. In the place of Vr, I can write IR. Then IR is equal to V minus Ig. R is equal to V by I minus G. R is equal to V by I minus G. So this is the value of resistance required, which is to be connected in series to a galvanometer to convert it as voltmeter. Here I is nothing but current passing through the galvanometer. In some books they will represent it as R is equal to V by Ig minus G. I or Ig, nothing but current passing through the circuit. Current passing through the circuit. Now, you can I can be replaced with Vg by G. I can be replaced with Vg by G. Therefore, R becomes Vg by G minus G. R is equal to V by Vg minus 1 into G. Here V by Vg is called N, which is nothing but range. In the earlier case of ammeter, I by Ig is called range, since it is measuring current. Since it is measuring potential difference, total voltage to be measured by voltage drop at galvanometer is called range. Then R is equal to N minus 1 into G. By using these formulae, you can solve any problem related to voltmeter. What are the important points we should remember here? Whenever we connect a heavy resistance in series to the galvanometer, it will be converted as voltmeter. In voltmeter, the series resistance to be connected is calculated by the formula R is equal to V by I minus G. What is I? I is nothing but current passing through the galvanometer. So, by using that formula, you will calculate R value, and the range of the voltmeter is calculated by V by Vg, nothing but N. If you want N, you can simplify that. So, how to calculate? R by G is equal to N minus 1. Then N is equal to 1 plus R by G. By using the same formula in different manners, we will get the required result. So, this is the point you should remember related to voltmeter. Now, two more small definitions we need to remember here. Current sensitivity, voltage sensitivity. So these are the terms you should learn now. The first term what I want to teach you is, whenever there is a galvanometer Galvanometer means it is having its own some resistance. This galvanometer is carrying a current I. Let theta is the deflection produced. Deflection in galvanometer. When you increase the strength of the current, the deflection in the galvanometer also gets increased, I proportional to theta. Then I is equal to k theta. K is equal to I by theta. Here K is called galvanometer constant. Galvanometer constant. This is one of the important definition you should remember. What is galvanometer constant? It is the ratio of strength of current passing through the galvanometer and the deflection produced. Now, let us discuss current sensitivity. Current sensitivity. Current sensitivity is represented with a letter S. In some books, SI, current sensitivity. SI you take, current sensitivity. Current sensitivity is the deflection produced per unit passes of current through an ammeter. The ratio of deflection produced to strength of current passing through it is called current sensitivity. So current sensitivity is exactly opposite to this. So you can write current sensitivity is reciprocal of galvanometer constant. Deflection produced per unit current. Deflection produced per unit current is called current sensitivity. Current sensitivity is identified as reciprocal of galvanometer constant. Next, we can have one more word here, figure of merit. Figure of merit. What do you mean by figure of merit? It is also very simple. It is the reciprocal of current sensitivity. Reciprocal of current sensitivity is called figure of merit, 1 by SI, which is nothing but galvanometer constant. Galvanometer constant have some another name, that is called figure of merit. Figure of merit is defined as reciprocal of current sensitivity, which is nothing but galvanometer constant. Which is nothing but galvanometer constant. So K can be defined as I by theta. So this is figure of merit. Figure of merit and galvanometer constant both are same. Figure of merit and galvanometer constant both are same. Similarly, voltage sensitivity. Voltage sensitivity. Can you define what is voltage sensitivity in the similar manner? Voltage sensitivity is defined as deflection produced for 1 volt potential difference. It is represented as SB. Voltage sensitivity, theta by V. Deflection produced for deflection produced for unit potential difference. Deflection produced per unit potential difference. This is called voltage sensitivity. Depending on the given question, whether we may be asked to calculate voltage sensitivity, current sensitivity, range of the galvanometer, range of the voltmeter, what is the shunt resistance required, what is the series resistance required. So many problems will come based on this. So this is the basic idea of the concept. Based on these concepts, we can solve some problems in the next class.